Let's discuss Jon Jones's heavyweight physique. His body doesn't look atypical for a heavyweight, although not what I expected from Jones after all the hype. Many expected Jones to have a much more impressive physique after all the training and preparation he has gone through. It's worth noting that gaining muscle is a complex process that depends on a number of factors, including genetics, diet, and training regimen. He literally gained nothing to his quads and hamstrings. That's quite insane. It's possible that Jones's body simply doesn't respond as well to strength training as some others might, or that his training program hasn't been as effective as he had hoped. People don't realize how hard it is to put muscle on and maintain the cardio. If he didn't want to fight anymore and just train for muscle gains, we would have been seeing a different man here. But this is not bodybuilding. It is unreal how many people are saying he is just fat with little to no muscle gain. His shoulders, chest, neck, back, and upper legs are noticeable bigger. He just isn't lean. This is what a person who lifts for strength looks like. He could have leaned up if he wanted, but he clearly thinks being stronger is a bigger priority. He is a tank now. He was always strong, but he must be crazy strong now. I don't see how you guys are seeing something different. I think once people see him next to Ciryl, they will realize just how big he is. While some have criticized his lack of significant muscle gain, it's important to consider the potential downsides of packing on too much mass. One potential issue with gaining too much muscle is that it can make a fighter stiffer and less agile in the ring. This can be particularly problematic for someone like Jones, who has built a reputation on his speed and athleticism. If he were to bulk up too much, he might find himself struggling to move around as quickly and efficiently as he has in the past. Another concern with putting on too much muscle is that it can negatively impact cardio and endurance. This is because muscle requires a lot of oxygen to function, and the more muscle someone has, the more oxygen they need to keep it working. If Jones were to pack on too much muscle, he might find himself struggling to maintain the kind of cardio and endurance he needs to compete at the highest level. On the other hand, it's possible that despite his wealth and access to trainers, he hasn't been focusing on proper muscle building techniques. I find it surprising how many professional athletes are not aware of the latest developments in muscle building science, such as the fact that a large calorie surplus is no longer necessary to gain muscle mass. In fact, a small surplus of just 100 calories can be enough to see results. It's even possible to gain muscle and strength while eating at maintenance or in a calorie deficit. During the embedded episode, Jones was seen alongside fellow heavyweights Maurice Greene and Walt Harris, both of whom are large but not particularly muscular. It's possible that Jones is unaware of the latest developments in muscle building and has been bulking on a large calorie surplus, much like his teammates. Even if he did go for a lean bulk, it's likely that his surplus was higher than it needed to be, resulting in excess fat gain. And when it comes time to cut, many people make the mistake of cutting too much too fast. Recent scientific developments have disproven many of the old school notions of bodybuilding and muscle building that were commonly assumed to be true for decades. However, not all pro athletes are aware of this and still cling to outdated sports science. While Jones's body composition isn't terrible, it could be better for someone in the heavyweight division. My assumption is that Jones gained too much fat while bulking and improperly cut, assuming that his undefeated record and size would be enough to carry him through. Ultimately, it seems that he values weight over body composition. Despite putting in a lot of time and effort to build muscle, it's clear that Jones still has a skinny leg and arm build. This may seem surprising to some, but it's important to remember that body type is largely determined by genetics, and not everyone is able to bulk up and build muscle in the same way. That being said, there are certainly advantages to having a smaller build. As some have noted, Jones's strength and power may be even more impressive because it is all packed into his core. This allows him to generate tremendous force and power despite not having the same level of muscle mass as some other fighters. Ultimately, the decision of how much muscle to gain is a personal one that depends on a variety of factors, including training goals, body type, and fighting style. While some may criticize Jones's physique, it's important to remember that he knows his body and his fighting style better than anyone else, and has likely made a deliberate choice to maintain a certain level of muscle mass that works best for him.